friends, and welcome to your reading. If you are here, then that means you are a Libra sun, moon, or rising. You can also have strong Libra placements in your chart, or in your birth chart, or you could also just simply be here because you felt drawn to this reading and therefore you need to hear the message that Spirit has for you today. So let's go ahead and look at your oracle cards. So we've got Bellows. Also, sorry if you hear dogs in the background. There's some dogs outside. I think it's next door. We have Wine. Church. And third person. Okay, so what I am seeing here, focusing on the bellows and the third person, I feel like there's a lot of conflict going on between you, possibly a partner, and somebody else. There may be some cheating going on. And I feel like you haven't been aware of this for a long time. But I think you're aware of it now, or you're at least questioning it now. And that this is something that's been happening over time. Okay, this has been happening a while, which is why I'm saying that you haven't always been aware of it. And I do feel like you and your partner, for the most part, may be married when we've got the church here. And if that's the case for you, I am very sorry that this is happening to you. But I'm also getting that this could be happening not between you, a partner, and somebody else. This could be happening between you, a community, possibly a religious community, and somebody else. And I'm thinking this is a leadership role in a community. And therefore it's between you and somebody else. I don't know if there's some kind of voting system going on, or you're waiting on, maybe it is between you, this other person who also wants to be a leader, and who's ever making the decision. And therefore you're trying to figure out, are they going to pick me, or are they going to pick that other person? And this has also been happening over time, like you've been working towards this leadership role, and possibly this other person is also working towards this leadership role. But there's this tension between you and this other person. For some of you, there could be tension, negative tension, where you two aren't even really speaking. You don't really like the other person, they don't really like you. But for some of you, this could also be, it's competitive, but you don't hate each other is kind of what I'm getting for some of you as well. And I know that I'm talking about multiple things here that can happen, that usually does happen. I am reading for a general public reading, so therefore more than one message comes through. You just take whatever resonates with you. And even if I haven't hit your particular description, you know, your particular thing that's happening to you right now, just take what I'm saying, what I have been saying, as an example, and then take how it resonates for you. You know, whether it's a community thing, whether it's a romantic relationship kind of thing. So yeah, just take whatever resonates with you. But let's go ahead and get some more oracle cards. Okay. So first card that wanted to come out was Priestess. How are you being called to step up and lead? So in your case, how are you being called to step up and possibly lead in this community? How are you being called to step up and try and like advocate for yourself, speak for yourself about how you would be the appropriate leader for this community? How are you being called in a romantic relationship to approach your partner and talk about what you've been either questioning or what you do know? Okay. But we need to stand in our own power here. Our next one is boundaries. Where do you need to establish better boundaries? We had this pop up in another zodiac reading. I believe it was for Leo. So maybe you also felt drawn to watch that video as well. But I do like it when these two cards step up or come up for each other, because like we were talking in that zodiac video, to have the courage to approach someone, to have the courage to step up and speak out while setting boundaries, that's such a powerful move. To still have the courage to speak up, and also having the courage to say, no, this is not okay. This is a boundary for me. You know, that's such a powerful move on your part. Let's go ahead and get some affirmation cards, and then we'll go ahead and get into our pendulum reading. Okay. So our first affirmation is, I am a gift. I am a gift to the world. When I lead with kindness and love, I create a ripple effect that benefits more people than I'll ever know. My presence, my knowledge, and my passions contribute to the greater good of the world. I am a gift. So I feel like with this relates more to that community I was talking about. To be a gift to them, to talk about your knowledge, your very presence. Just, I would say, watch how you interact with your community, because if you have a calming, kind presence, therefore you would be more approachable. And then you can, of course, share your knowledge and your passions. And these people are going to view you as a gift. and therefore maybe encourage whoever is leading currently to go to that leader and encourage them to pick you. So whatever presence you feel like is needed in this environment, act on that, and that'll benefit you. We also have, I am open. Vulnerability is my strength, not my weakness. My openness attracts those who are beneficial to my highest good. When I lean into my feelings, I am honoring my truth. When I communicate my feelings in a loving way, I am speaking my truth. I am open. Okay. So this I definitely feel like is more so towards the relationship, the partner aspect of our message. And goes along with this priestess. How are you being called to step up and lead? How are you being called to step up and be open about how you are feeling? Your vulnerability is your strength, not your weakness. Keep that in mind, because that is a very powerful message, especially when you need to be stepping into your own power and setting these boundaries. If we're talking about this as a community part of the message, it's to be open to your community, be open to listening to them, but also be open in explaining maybe your own experiences. And I'm saying this in a way where I think it was back in 2015 to 2016. My husband, then fiance, were going to church with my parents in the town that they're still living in currently. And there was this pastor there who reminded me so much of my childhood pastor, because I grew up in a Christian household, in a Christian community, Methodist specifically. And yeah, this pastor just really reminded me of my childhood pastor that I grew up with, and how he interacted with the children, bringing them down to the platform steps, the stage area, where you see the pastor giving their speech and stuff. Bringing the children down, having a story with them, telling them a story, teaching, trying to teach them some sort of lesson for them to grow up with, to be a good person. And he would very often, when giving a sermon, that's the word I'm looking for. I was like, what's the word I'm looking for? It's sermon. When giving a sermon, he would, of course, read from the book, or, the Bible, I mean. But he would also include a story of his own, and they would be a story of his own experience, and how it relates, I can't talk today, how it relates to a passage in the Bible that he wanted to focus on. And a lot of times there would be a funny part to his story, but still it would be something like that, where you could do something like that with your community, reading a passage from something, but then on the side also having your own story that relates to that passage, and therefore could also help people relate as well. It gives them a certain perspective. And I kind of liked it because it kept it traditional for those who want to keep things traditional, which was actually a big struggle for him in that particular church or that particular community. So it kept things traditional, but then he also added his own little twist to it to help the community relate to him and his experience, and help to be open, and help to be just somebody who just feels like any other guy, just an ordinary guy. And he was definitely somebody who was trying to help bring in younger folks like me and my husband and connect with them as well. And it was kind of working. Sadly, he's not there anymore. He got transferred somewhere else. But yeah, it's something like that. To be open in that community, sharing your own experiences, and let's see who you can draw in. And then, like I said, if this is a romantic relationship, to just be open about your vulnerability, be open about how you're feeling, how you are hurting, open about your questions, but still standing in your power no matter how this goes. For our last affirmation, we have I am passionate. I put my entire heart into the people and things I believe in. My passion is a powerful force. It is an eternal fuel. I recognize the strength of my passion, and therefore I am careful where I choose to focus it. I am passionate. This also relates to both of you as well. Going back to the gift, though, just really quick. In the romantic aspect of our message, reminding yourself that you are a gift definitely wants to come through for you. But also for both messages, we got I am passionate. Putting your entire heart into this community, towards the people in this community. Sharing your powerful and passionate messages, sharing or being a passionate and powerful person for them to relate to, for them to come to, for them to feel comfortable coming to. In the romantic aspect, this is just reminding you about the passionate person you are, and that you can come across in this conflict as the loving person that you are, as the passionate person that you are. Even though this is going to be a hard situation to step up and talk about, and to prepare yourself for it to not go well. So therefore, being careful where you choose to focus this loving, passionate side of you, because you don't want to lose that part of you in this conflict. So just remember who you are despite what happens. And then also, if we're talking about community, remember who you are despite the fact that you and this other person who was going for this leadership role don't come at this so negatively. Still remember that you are a loving, passionate person, because if they end up with the leadership role and you don't, that doesn't mean that you aren't this loving, passionate person. It's just for whatever reason they decided to go with that other person first. So Spirit is just, either way, whatever whatever message here is relating to you the most, resonating with you the most, Spirit just wants you to remind yourself that you are a loving, passionate person. So let's go ahead and get into the pendulum part of your reading. So if you have not been to my channel before, I like using this board because it does allow you to ask more than just a yes or no question. You can ask something in relation to the days of the week, the zodiac signs, you can include letters or numbers, and you can also use the months of the year. I'm sorry that it is looking a little dark. I'm starting to lose sunlight. I apologize for that. So we're going to go ahead and try and finish this up quickly before we lose too much light. I will try and brighten this video for you in post when I'm editing, so you can see the board a little clearer, hopefully, fingers crossed. But what we do on my channel is before we get your answer, we take 3 deep breaths. I will pick the pendulum up. You can ask your question then as the pendulum is circling. And you can ask the question out loud or in your head. And then I will give the pendulum some time. And then when I feel like it's ready, I will count to 3. It'll swing towards your answer. Now, if you do need more time, you can absolutely go ahead and pause the video to think of your question. But let's go ahead and take our 3 deep breaths. One, two, three. Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about what I was seeing. So if you ask a yes or no question, your answer was a yes, but I do feel like it was pointing more in this direction here. So I would say you would get either Thursday and or Friday, Cancer, the number 6, and July. So Thursday and or Friday, Cancer, 6, and July. So obviously I don't know what you asked. So just take whatever resonates with your question, whatever fits your question, and that'll be your answer from Spirit. So thank you so much for coming by. I greatly appreciate it. And I hope that this message resonated with you. I hope you enjoyed it. And I hope to see you in the next video. Bye!